the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Las Vegas, Nevada, Joey Nocho Freno.
Hello, Andy.
Good Friday.
Yes.
Afternoon.
Why didn't we do a show on Thursday, Andy?
Well,
I was here in Las Vegas. Not a whole lot going on. Was ready to do the show.
I couldn't do my flu game. I just couldn't do it.
The flu is real.
It wasn't just the flu. I had the worst case of diarrhea I've ever had.
Hot start to the show.
I'm just gonna let it flow like the diarrhea was with what happened. Have you ever had it so bad where you can't even drink water? I've never had that.
I have. Well,
Where,
I've talked about it on the show before, my 11-day bout with stomach sickness. Yeah. Where it was like nothing. Everybody's like, oh, take a sip of flat ginger ale. Yeah. I was like, cool. If I want to puke diarrhea.
Yeah, that's what was going on.
Was it something you ate?
Well, my daughter was sick and she was puking the day before. So I don't know if I got what she had and it went out the other way. But also, she had her 2-month checkup and she had a few vaccinations, and one of them was an oral one, and it was for something. It's not. I know it sounds like Rona. It sounds like Corona. It's the road.
I feel I feel like you've put cheese out and now you've just like you're trying to get me snapped in a rat trap. I'm not taking this. That's bait. That's bait right there.
It's called rotavirus. Okay.
Yeah.
Like ROTA, or I think that's what it is. But anyway, it's like this is one of the vaccines. She got 3 vaccines the other day, and they put it on her mouth, I guess, to prevent her from getting it, or I don't know. Regardless, the nurse specifically said, don't kiss her for the next 15 minutes or you could get really bad diarrhea. And I didn't kiss her for 15 minutes at all. And that was on Tuesday.
Well, it seems like this can't be just a coincidence.
Well, that's what I was saying to my girlfriend. And I was like, wait, but suddenly I get like the worst case of diarrhea, but it was 24 hours later.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go anywhere. And I had to sleep and I was so dehydrated. I celebrated when I ate a piece of toast. Like that was the biggest. I've only had 2 pieces of toast. Like the biggest win ever. So I'm assuming I got it from her.
Meanwhile, I'm in Vegas and somehow you look better than me. Like I feel like Vegas is a human parasite.
The late nights getting you?
I'm not even up that late. I think it's just my biggest issue with Vegas is the air quality, just general air quality. Every casino is just a disgusting smoke cesspool. And then outside, you're not really getting a whole lot of relief going out into the fucking desert dryness.
How hot is it right now?
I haven't been outside today, but I think it's in the high 80s.
Are Vegas casinos like the last bastion holding on to where you can smoke inside?
Yeah, probably. I mean, casinos in general.
Like you can always smoke in casinos.
Generally, yeah. I think there's some smoke-free casinos now for the people who don't want to be around smoke. The safe space, if you will.
The pussies.
A safe space. But for the most part, I mean, I think degeneracy that comes with gambling, you know, you got to have the booze, you got to have the cigarettes.
And I bet you get some interesting cats in that Rio hotel as well.
Oh yeah. One of the girls who's one of the women on the show at the Comedy Cellar, her joke is that the official luggage, the official suitcase of the Rio Hotel is a cooler.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the place you're not going to feel right until you leave there. A week is a long time. Any good food, though? You should be eating some good food at least.
Sadly, no. I've been here since Tuesday. I've had a lot of Rio food, a lot of Rio employee dining room.
Any Subway?
No, thank God. Thank God. There's a smash burger here that's not bad.
That's a great name, by the way.
Yeah.
It's very sexual.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a sexual term, I smashed her.
Be the term for like when your bowel movements get back to normal. It's been days since I took a proper smash burger.
Oh, I can't wait. I kept thinking of, here's a Dirty Sports throwback, George Brett, water.
Yeah. That was in Vegas. That's his famous Vegas story, isn't it?
That's right. That was in Vegas. Yeah, I kept thinking about that. But hey, man, I survived. We're here. We got sports to talk. We got baseball calls, basketball calls, movement happening, NFL teams being sold. We even have a hockey update.
Whoa. Where are we starting?
I mean, good question. We could start with, should we go crazy and start with the hockey update?
Sure. Why not?
So, Ryan, we put out the bat signal to Ryan Klatt, our Canadian hockey correspondent, and he answered the call with a call. So here's what Ryan has to say. Summing up, this is, I think, a couple days ago, the NHL regular season.
Hey, guys, it's Ryan Klatt calling in with a hockey update. My apologies that it's been a while, but I'm here now, so let's do it. I'll recap some of the big headlines of the regular season, and then next week I'll do a playoff preview with the playoffs starting on Monday. So probably the biggest story of the year has been the Boston Bruins. They officially have the greatest regular season record in NHL history. They surpassed the 2019 Tampa Bay Lightning and the 96 Red Wings in wins. So incredible season by the Bruins, obviously, but let's not forget that Lightning team got swept in the first round. And there's been a bit of a curse with the team with the best record in the NHL, but more on that next week. Another big story for the year has been Conor McDavid. He became the first player since Mario Lemieux in 1996 to get over 150 points in a season. So he will, without a doubt, win the Hart Trophy as the MVP, and he's just continuing to establish himself as one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Looking forward to see what him and the Oilers can do in the playoffs. Okay, I think I'm going to have to leave another call here before it cuts me off. Okay, call number 2. So I just wanted to quickly talk about a big story in hockey this year, and that's this year's draft and who is going to be picked first overall. One of the biggest, most hyped prospects of all time. The kid's name is Connor Bedard. Yes, another Connor. Apparently you're nasty at hockey if your name's Connor. But anyways, in my lifetime, probably the biggest prospects have been Crosby, McDavid, and now this guy. So he's like a once in every 10-ish years prospect. And there was a lot of talk of teams tanking this year to get better odds at him, and I think that was absolutely happening. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. Okay, so there's still a few things to be decided in the season yet, a couple of games left. So next week I'll get into the playoffs and obviously go into the matchups more. And it might possibly be a live call, Andy. We'll see. I'm a little limited by these 2-minute calls. Just saying. All right, stay dirty. Go Leafs, go Jays.
We'd love to hear from Ryan.
A live call. He DM'd me about that.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Ryan some questions. Like, for one, he talked about the Conor McDavid being, one already he's calling him one of the great hockey players of all time. And that made me think, I mean, I'm not super hockey knowledgeable, but I know for a fact he's never won anything in terms of team championships. And it seems like that's something that is healthy about the hockey discussion that you hear.
Yeah.
You never really, I don't even know who has the most cups for a player. I know, obviously, Wayne Gretzky is generally considered the greatest hockey player of all time by everybody except for like those random wannabe different folks. I don't know where he stands. I mean, I know he won 4 with the Oilers. But it seems like that might be a healthy part of the hockey conversation, is that people can be considered these elite all-timers while not even having a single championship. And I like that, because I think we all know, everybody with a brain knows sports is a team accomplishment, winning championships.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because when you look at the hockey players, I was bringing like, obviously we don't follow it, but like, I don't know any of these guys, like the top dudes.
Like how, I don't even know how many is it, like 7 cups?
Most is 11.
11.
Henry Richard.
He's the Bill Russell of
He is.
hockey guys.
Well, here's something I didn't know. Messier has 6.
That's interesting. I mean, I thought he had 4 with the Oilers,
Edmonton.
with Gretzky, then the one with the Rangers, and where did he get another one? Or did they win 5?
Maybe they won 5. Or maybe
how many does Gretzky have?
Let me see here.
I like this. I like that. Like, there's got to be people.
Yeah, Gretzky won 4 with Edmonton. I bet
that
he was traded. He didn't get that 5th one.
So, I think that's something that's good about the hockey conversation. That's great. Like, I bet you a person who knows as much about basketball as I know about hockey would probably be able to tell you how many rings Michael Jordan has and how many that compares to LeBron James. And they might not know Robert Horry has more than both of them. They might not know that, whatever. But I like that. I like that about the hockey convo.
Well, it's something you don't hear much. It's interesting. But it's interesting to say like this up and coming Connor, all these Connors. It's probably like the third, like the every 10-year guy, like the Sidney Crosby. It's crazy. These guys none of these guys would I recognize.
No. I don't think I'd recognize Sidney Crosby if I saw him.
No.
You'd recognize Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky, I would. Mark Messier, I would.
Yeah. You think you'd recognize like Mario Lemieux or Jaromir Jagr if they walked into the Anderson Kroger?
Probably not.
Okay. I'd probably recognize those guys. I'd probably recognize. Trying to think about who else. I wouldn't recognize Conor McDavid. That's for sure.
There's a big NHL fan who I'd recognize, Cuba Gooding Jr.
He's a big NHL fan.
Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
Did you see that thing of him?
I like that now you can recognize so few hockey players. You're now talking about what people who like hockey you'd recognize.
Did you ever see the thing of Cuba just bombed? Wasn't it like the hockey awards show?
No.
You never seen this?
But I've seen him bombed before. Cuba Gooding Jr. famously likes himself some booze.
Oh, dude. My buddy has this picture with him. He was in Vegas a few years ago.
Cuba.
Dude, he's got this picture that he sends me. They're at, some pool party in Vegas. It's one of the best pictures I've ever seen. He's so bombed and he's got his arms around my buddy and he is next level. So yeah, so I knew this happened. This is just thought out. Cuba Gooding Jr. is a hot mess at the NHL Awards. I figured there was something like this up. Let's just see what we got here. If I bring this up on the screen, we'll see what's going on with Cuba here. It's on Facebook. What? Let's do it.
Fancy to the Edmonton Oilers, Andrew Ference.
Roll the clip!
Andrew, congratulations, and tell us what it's like to play hockey in your hometown. I mean, that must be cool. I'd like to thank your wife too, Andrew. Thank you, baby. The NHL Foundation Players Award recognized that. They were like, that's why we didn't invite him. Patrice Bergeron. Patrice Bergeron.
Patrice.
They weren't as close to the mic because they were too cheap.
Was he the host?
What is happening here?
So,
Or did he just not leave?
Patrice, and Will Lacey in the house.
Did you just punch that kid?
I know. Control yourselves. Come on, Mark, tight. Come on, let's make a reverse Oreo. Come on, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. That's right. Double stuff. Don't grab my ass. Mark, tell us seriously about the Messier Leadership Award. Just say a little something.
Here's another question for Ryan. How come hockey players are always bald? How come like post-career hockey players are always just like completely bald?
Dude, how uncomfortable are these guys? Is Messier and this other dude.
Yeah.
He said, let's make a reverse Oreo, and he put his arms around him.
Yeah.
What a shit show. Yeah, man. This is like a
No, it's my hope and belief that
his hand in his head.
Won the cup, baby. That's right.
Where's Cuba from that he's such a big hockey fan?
You sure you don't know?
Yeah, Stanley Cup's heavier. It's a little bit.
This is amazing.
Am I?
Dustin, tell everyone what it's like to play in Los Angeles, because we know how wonderful that is.
Bro. I think he went to rehab like after this. Like, no lie. They were like, you got to go to rehab, bro.
So like if hockey players think that you're too drunk, you need rehab.
He was born in the Bronx.
Wow.
Yeah, man. He's a New Yorker. His family moved. Wow, they moved to LA.
But they didn't move to Canada.
No.
Okay.
This is literally Dirty Sports covering NHL. I hijacked the entire legit call with like, hey man, you know Cuba Gooding Jr. is a big hockey fan. Let's show this clip of him.
Cuba Gooding Jr.'s a drunk, right? And Ryan's like, what? I didn't have to do a live call. We're like, Ryan, we're gonna have to put you on hold. We have to pull up the NHL Hockey Awards, NHL Awards, where Cuba caresses Mark Messier's head.
I do want you to bring up the question. Pin that one as far as why is everybody bald?
Yeah.
Like Gretzky's not all of them. But I feel like a lot of them are.
I got a call from a friend of mine who's a big hockey fan the other day. He listens to the show, so I think he's gonna be really excited about this. I wonder if he was hoping that this would come up as soon as the hockey question started. This isn't going to be a very politically correct conversation. PC, so cover your ears if you're easily offended, if you need a safe space. But he called me the other day and he was like, at this point, Gretzky's been retired long enough where I think a lot of young people probably just know him as the father of that girl who did cocaine off of Dustin Johnson's dick. And I was like, wow, that's a bold claim. And he was like, it just goes to show you, no matter how great of a man you are, if your daughter's like a coke whore, like it all come crumbling down.
Wait a second. It's known that she did it off his dick, or are you just saying that?
This is apparently a known
So
thing.
I didn't know that. I knew they like to dabble in a little coke.
Yeah,
they did. She did it off his dick?
Apparently.
That's why he needs that live money, man.
And his point was just like, imagine there was a time in the world where everybody knew you as the great one. And now they just know you as that coke whore's dad.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I didn't know that. Didn't know it to that extent. Then and there's a point there because, with social media, we all know she's probably got how many more followers do you think Paulina Gretzky has
Then Wayne Gretzky?
on Instagram?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't follow either of them. So
I don't either. But she only has 1.1 million followers. I would have thought it
okay.
would be
So she wouldn't even be the most famous person on my phone.
humble brag.
No, I was just joking about that. That's the measurement tool these days.
I know. Let's see here. Wayne Gretzky has 213,000.
Wow, 5 times the amount of followers. That's amazing. That really is amazing that Wayne Gretzky has 213,000 followers.
He's the best hockey player of all time. I heard Jordan rig the algorithm so that he always has the most of any NBA player ever.
Is Michael Jordan even on Instagram personally?
No way.
No way. Actually, I think when you're a certain level of fame, you're better off having not been on for a while. Like, you remember when Eli Manning joined Twitter and everybody was like, Eli Manning's on Twitter. If he had been there the whole time, he would have just had like whatever. I think when you're like mega famous and so many people know you that it becomes a news story that you join, and then you immediately get a bunch of followers. Like Jennifer Aniston got like 1 million followers like day one or something like that because everybody's like, Jennifer Aniston's on Twitter. Like if Wayne Gretzky joined Twitter for the first time today, it'd be a huge deal.
Yeah, 100%. I was watching her last night. Introduced the lady to Office Space last night.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you don't recognize some of these quotes from Dirty Sports? Like, you don't recognize any of these. You're not going to work here anymore. What? It's still a great movie. I mean, that one really holds up.
It's incredible. I saw it in theaters, and it wasn't at all what I was expecting it to be. And I left being like, wow, that's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
1999, man.
I remember seeing it at the Lehigh Valley multiplex.
Yeah, it holds up. And I probably watch it every couple of years. Really funny.
2 chicks, man.
I mean, so many great lines. O-face.
Yeah.
Just so many great lines. All right, Prano, let's talk a little baseball.
Okay.
The Rays are 13-0, tying the, I love when they do these things, the modern era most wins to start a season. 13 straight.
It's wild.
Did anybody see this coming?
No. I mean, no. Certainly no one saw this coming. No, I don't even think predicting teams to win X amount of games to start a season is even like a bold prediction anybody makes, because it's so irregular in baseball. Like, if you think about baseball, if you just win every 3-game series you play, if you win every series you play, meaning you lose a game in every series, you have one of the best records ever, so the idea of going this many straight without just like a bad performance, a bad loss, a bad pitching, meltdown, it's insane. And I love it because obviously everybody's, I think the Yankees were second behind the Astros in terms of World Series odds to start the year.
So they've they've scored 101 runs. I mean, just blowing out the next closest team with most runs. Like, it doesn't even come close. Now, I did see one thing that would be like, to critique it, all teams with losing records were like, the year just started.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Not only did the year just start, but all teams with losing records, a big part of that is every team that they've played so far has been swept by them.
Yeah.
So you factor into the 11 games some teams played that they have a 3-game sweep to the Rays in there.
No, for sure. I know, it's crazy though. So I guess if they beat the Blue Jays tonight, they would set the modern era record.
Yep. And honestly, with baseball, historically, teams that get out to a good start finish really well. Teams that get out to a shitty start don't always necessarily have the worst year ever, but it's very rare for a team that has like an incredible start to have a meltdown.
Sure.
If you have a few game lead going in even into like May, I think the statistics are pretty good. If you have a 5-game lead going into May,
I know that is what's interesting. Everybody says, "Oh, it's 162 games," but if you start good, I mean, that's the one thing I always remember about that 90 Reds team. They started 9-0.
Yeah,
and they won the World Series. It's like you start good.
Well, the part of you starting good that is more important than everything is like over the course of the year, you can have every team's going to have a bad stretch. You can get swept by some team, and it really doesn't factor in nearly as much.
Yeah,
because it's such a long year.
No, for sure. We got a couple baseball calls. I'm gonna start off with this one, a little hypothetical for us.
Okay.
A hypothetical regarding Major League Baseball.
What's going on, boys? Calling back once again from beautiful Toms River, New Jersey, home of the 1998 Little League World Series champions. I am wondering what rule would baseball and that absolute piece of shit Rob Manfred have to change to make you just give up on the game? Like, you know, baby Isla, baby Prano in a couple of years maybe. What would it take for you guys to just not even care about baseball or getting your offspring into the sport? Like, if they made it, I don't know, 3 balls for a walk, 2 strikes for a strikeout, just something like you really can't even rule it out with the way that the league is nowadays, because they think that faster, more exciting means just changing the fundamentals of the game. Fundamentals, that's a tough word. Yeah, what would it take for you guys to just completely give up on the sport? And I'm a Mets fan, so right now I'm like, oh, I gotta love baseball because we're supposed to be a championship contender every year because we spend the most money, even though it still seems a little Wilpon-esque. Just a drop of Wilpon still left in there in the tank. So hopefully we get rid of that and win a fucking World Series in the next 5 years. But yeah, let me know. What is it?
No, I don't know what happened. But
the first thing that jumped out to me was any sort of inning change.
I was just gonna say, you know what it'd be to me if they're like, we're cutting it down to 7 innings.
Yeah.
That'd be the first thing to me. Like, oh, we're dropping an inning or 2. You're like, what?
Yeah. I'd be out.
You're doing what?
That's the first thing. I mean, like, it would never happen because, like he was saying, adjustment to balls and strikes, it would never happen. It'll always be 3 strikes and you're out. But can you imagine if it was like 1, 2, yes, 2 strikes, you're out at the old ball game? I'd be like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, obviously, like, these are some serious changes that have happened, which kind of leads to our next call, which, as you call, is now affecting the beer sales. So now people want to teams are extending the beer sales past the 7th inning.
Jim from Pasadena again. Quick update on the beer sales. Looks like the Arizona D-Bags, Rangers, and Twins are extending into the 8th inning for the beer sales because of the shorter game time, and it looks like the Brewers as well. So it looks like they're catching on as they probably look at their revenue dropping so early. So I just want to give you guys a quick update. Kind of related to the food topics at the games. Lifelong Dodger fan. I've lived here my whole life. Dodger chicken food has always been pretty subpar. I think it's a pretty big travesty that they don't have multiple In-N-Outs and King Tacos in the stadium. Be great for tourists who come in from out of town to catch those kind of staples in SoCal. So I always thought that was kind of a big swing and miss, even though they added Shake Shack. It's still just one spot in there, and then they have all the trashy corporate ones throughout the stadium. But Dodger Dogs, definitely overrated. I did find that if you grab a cup of cheese from there and dip the dog in there, I know it's kind of a Midwestern fat American maybe, but it's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
As well. I do have a question for Andy. Being a new parent, congratulations again. Curious from perception you had before your child was born to now being a dad, was there anything that you were just totally off on? Like you had a wrong assumption about being a dad that you learned. So curious about that. And then condoms are for Chase Utley. Welcome.
You know, he brings up a good point on like no in and out. I know in and out's very particular. I've read, right?
So this is that like in and out's fascinating. You ever notice how like the percentage of people that seem really happy to be there? Like I swear there's yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's some and like
dude, people are turned to work there.
And like generally like good looking. Like it's never like really like you never got like the creepy old fat man in there.
Oh
like,
no. It's like young kids. It's like a cool spot to work.
But it's super like Christian, right? It's like
is it?
I think it's a Christian thing. I'm pretty sure, but like I don't know how that factors in. I don't know if they're like pulling these kids from like church groups or something. Like I would not be surprised at that because it seems like they all have the same kind of like general.
I can see that.
They're so happy to help you.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm trying to scroll through their Wikipedia.
But it's insane for Dodger Stadium to have a Shake Shack and not in. Yeah, of course there should be multiple locations. That's what I said about SoFi. The SoFi food was trash. It's like, why isn't there a Randy's Donuts in there? Why isn't there In-N-Outs? Why isn't there whatever? Did he say a King Taco?
I thought that's what he said.
I don't even know what King Taco is.
I was confused about that too. I was like, what?
I've never been to a King Taco in my life. He's talking about Del Taco?
King Taco. Yeah. It's a fast food restaurant chain headquartered in Los Angeles.
I've never seen a King Taco.
In the stadium? Where is it at?
No, he's saying there's not one in the stadium. He's saying like in and out, it should be all over the stadium. But I was like, well, I see in and outs every exit on the 405 and the 10 and the 5. Like, am I crazy or have I never driven by a King Taco once in my life?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, did I miss a King Taco?
This is the mystery of King Taco. Where's King Taco?
I'm looking it up right now. King Taco.
Headquartered in Los Angeles. What's the closest King Taco to where we lived in Venice?
Not much on Wikipedia. Not much at all.
What about on Google Maps, Andy?
This is from 2015. There was a total of 23 restaurants throughout LA County and San Bernardino. You got to go to King Taco now.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, what?
Dude, you know how much I love tacos. I didn't know about a taco place in LA for that many years. I missed out on a taco place.
But I'm saying, like, dude, before I came to LA, I had never heard of El Pollo Loco. I'd never heard of it. But then you drive by them all the time. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like there's actually no King Tacos. It's all east. It's like the westernmost one is like in Koreatown.
Look at this comment on YouTube.
What?
King Taco sounds like some Gus Fring from Front Run Meth Factory.
So true. It looks like it runs from like downtown LA. There's a lot of them like There's a lot of them like east of downtown LA.
Okay, so areas that we
King
don't really
Taco,
go.
King Torta, King Taco, Pico Truck. They're numbered though. King Taco 6, King Taco 10, King Taco 1. Here you go. King Taco 1 is in the Cypress Park, Mount Washington area. So it's kind of at East LA.
Okay.
There's not one within 15 miles of us in Venice. That's why we never saw it.
He's like, I don't know why they don't have the street taco stand on Venice Boulevard and Venice and Lincoln Boulevard.
They should. That shit was the bomb.
Yeah. And to answer your question, I'm just gonna say it. Nobody talks about it. Babies suck, man. Like, dude, they are a pain in the ass the first few months. I'm just gonna be real. Like,
people do talk about that.
No, but they don't. I don't think a lot of people don't talk about how much it sucks. Like it will wear you. I got to give a shout out to our buddy Guy Fiorita. Is it Fiorita or Fiorito? I always mess it up. Fiorita. He texted me. I guess he had seen the news that I was a dad. He's like, "You got to read this book, dude." And I'm like, "Bro, everybody's trying to give me books." And he was like, "No. I got the book about getting the kid to sleep." And he gifted me a digital book, which I'm like halfway through. Because everybody is an expert.
What's the book?
What is it titled? The Baby Sleep Solution.
Okay.
And it's only like 146 pages or something. But his point was like, all these books by experts. It's literally a Brazilian woman who's like, "Yo, I just became the baby whisperer. Like, I'm not like medical background. Like, talks about her whole story coming from Brazil to the States and just like raising kids of her own. And then she became like, this is how you do it."
She's like, "Have you tried sliced steak and a mojito?"
But to add to that, like, I know we're pretty soft, our generation now. Like, I think of my mom, like, dude, she had 5 boys within 11 years. And like, we got 1 girl. Like I'm pathetic.
I always think about that whenever like I'm out and some kids like being problematic. I'm always like, remember what you guys were doing as a kid. Like, like when I think of like, oh, my friends like struggling to like put their baby to sleep, I think of my mom like trying to put Mikey to bed while John like tried to burn the neighbor's house down,
You have to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But like, or I'll see like a kid running around a restaurant, and my instinct will be like, somebody get your kid. And then I'll think about like the 4 of us inside the kitchen of a restaurant, putting the chef into a fucking freezer and locking it with a broomstick and being like, no one gets food.
Oh yeah. 100%. Now, I don't know if you have home videos. We have so many to go through. Like, my dad always had a camera, and they're wild videos where like just we're filming everything.
Oh,
like,
there's a great video. It's actually a great home video of us. My mom like gave away a bunch of our videos at one point. Where like I was just like, she like let somebody like clean out her garage, and she was like, they took like 100 tapes. I was like, cool. It's just our personal family history, no big deal. But there's a classic video where like we decided we were gonna like take my dad's like swimsuit off by the pool. And then so it's the 3 boys like wrestling with him in the yard. And then at one point, like a 3-year-old Mikey comes over and just like starts kicking him in the head, like aggressive, like full soccer kicks to the head. It was like something out of fucking American History X. And you could just see that Mikey was going to turn into some sort of devil child one day. Cause he was just, stomping away. It's hilarious. Yeah. And this adult, my dad's like, wait, what? How did we get to here?
Oh yeah, I know, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, our parents had it tough. Like, meanwhile, I'm like, oh, she won't stop crying. What do I do? I can't handle this. I'm trying to watch the game. Shut up. Yeah, I'm pathetic. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So we are now we're almost there on the NBA playoffs as far as the seeding. We got 2 games tonight, but Lakers come back. Hell of a game the other night.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to lose that one.
I thought they were going to lose when they went to overtime because of the fucking terrible, like how the game was over.
Yeah.
LeBroning at the end, chance to win the game, finds a wide open man. It's to me like, I know sometimes I repeat myself on this show, but it's just as you watch the NBA, and there's still, in my opinion, no bigger star, even if there's a player that's, winning MVPs or whatever, there's still no bigger star in the NBA than LeBron James. There's, in my opinion, still no bigger storyline than whatever team LeBron James is on, because we're still, now we're looking at a guy who's like everything is, and I always say I don't think you can take away from your legacy, but how much more can he add? In my opinion, obviously the greatest ever. Some people, there'll be nothing he can ever do to be the greatest ever. Some people maybe still on the fence. Maybe there are some things that he can still do, but no doubt about it, we're still looking at a guy adding to his NBA storybook that's as long, with as many chapters as just about anybody. And to me, it's like, it's almost like, to me, like I have such a whirlwind of emotions on a play like that, where I'm like, come down, hit the game winner, show all these people that still stupidly say, but then he goes to the basket and then just, an exceptional pass, a pass you wouldn't even see 20 years ago to a wide open Schroeder. And it's just like, you know what? In the end, that is really why I like the guy. It's really why I became a fan of him, is because of that play right there. And then, of course, there's a terrible foul on the other end, and you're like, this is how they fucking lose this game, right?
Did you hear what he said to the at the post game interview? The first thing he said when they were talking about all this stuff.
It's about legacy, yo.
Yeah.
It's about legacy, yo.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, it's about legacy, yo.
I love that you even had that ready to go. Do you go to the magnifying glass at the top right and search for something to do that? Or do you know exactly what folder it's on your desktop?
I know what folder it's on my desktop. Dude, I got some stuff that I've never played from like past episodes that just makes me laugh that I'll play. I have one of He Who Shall Not Be Named. Just I've never played.
That's hilarious.
It sounds like he's about to cry when he was on our show, when he was telling us that he was better than both of us.
Oh yeah.
No, I think that was me actually. It wasn't you. It was me.
I wasn't there. Right? Was that you and Maddie?
You were there.
Was I there?
Right?
I don't know. There's one. I know there was an episode where I wasn't there, I think.
I'm not sure, but yeah, I got some stuff in the folder. Now we did have a call.
He Who Shall Not Be Named. It actually came up. Wasn't he the little twerp that was like selling secrets for the United States government?
Wait, what?
Andy, how much has this baby got you out of touch with the world?
Dude, I literally have no clue. What?
Some like 23-year-old like leaking American secrets. And I was just like, oh,
dude,
it looks just like our guy.
Does it?
I mean, not like in like, but it's just like, it's the same vibe.
That's hilarious. Yeah. I got to get caught up, man. Baby plus diarrhea is like, yeah, like, I don't know what's going on. What day is it? Is it Friday? Okay.
Friday.
Getting caught up here. So, who do you like in these matchups? And then we got a call. I'm not going to play all the calls because you and I are obviously going to discuss it. But like, Lakers are Grizz, man.
I like the Lakers. I said that the whole time. I mean, I think that'll be a hard fought series, but I like the Lakers to get through it. Everything that's going on with, Ja, just Memphis, like certainly has playoff experience, but still a relatively young team. I mean, it's not the world's easiest matchup for the Lakers, But I still think, like, let's start with, you can be critical of me all you want and like my love of LeBron James and slurping and whatever and how he compares. If a finals matchup or if a matchup in a random game was Bucks Lakers, I wouldn't say that LeBron James is the best player on the floor. And by the way, I am a Ja Morant stan. Anybody who has listened to this show for a while knows that you go back to the March Madness that he played, and I said, make him the number 1 pick. I love his game. And I think LeBron James is the best player in this series. Let's start there.
Interesting. Yeah, we got
They're a significantly deeper team than the Lakers. But I think it's a tough series. I think it could potentially go all 7.
No Steven Adams, though. And like, I think that's one of those players who he's not going to have the most, the stats aren't going to be the greatest, but like impact player.
The Lakers are a team as well. And, this will certainly be the determining factor. The Lakers are a team, like a lot of LeBron James teams, that are built around having basically three tiers of players on the team. You've got LeBron James, some sort of pseudo second banana or third banana, and that would be obviously Anthony Davis. And then you've got the other guys who fill out rosters. Really, LeBron James is going to have a great series. You know it, right? But there's absolutely no chance that he plays poorly. How does Anthony Davis play?
Yeah.
And without Steven Adams, that certainly helps.
Well, right. Everybody's saying, and they've kind of said this for a while about them, the Lakers go as far as Anthony Davis goes. He plays poorly, they lose. He plays well, they win. That's kind of been his MO since he joined them.
And that's why if you go through, my NBA betting manifesto always starts with taking the underdogs in game 1, having the home team bounce back into game 2, and playing the NBA zigzag theory. Now, you also have to consider that Vegas has gotten smart to this and has adjusted their lines accordingly. And you've got to also just be aware in things that we've always got to be able to pivot based on how things go. But if you look at the first games on Saturday, Knicks, Cavs, Nets, Sixers, Hawks, Celtics, Warriors, Kings. Okay. I love the Knicks on the road getting 5.5. I love the Nets on the road getting 8.5. I don't really love the Hawks on the road getting 9, but I don't hate it. And then Warriors, Kings, again, the Vegas has started to consider this. That's a game that I'm not touching because it's even. I mean, I might even say that the Kings are now underdogs.
Yeah.
Series, but it also is a Kings home game. That's the one where it's like 4 years ago, regardless of all the things, the Kings are a 2, 3, 4 point favorite because it's a home game. But Vegas has gotten smart to that, so that's probably the stay away. But the first two, I fucking love them.
So the Thunder win
Lakers,
the other night.
Memphis 3.5 point favorites at home, game 1. Listen, give me the Knicks money line, the Nets spread, the Lakers money line.
So Thunder win the other night.
Spread.
And we got a call about them, and then time to maybe reevaluate. Let's look at this trade that happened with SGA and Paul George.
Sports. Just a quick NBA question. I'm an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. Watching the game, and Shea is playing pretty well. I think it'd be interesting if you guys went back and reviewed the terms of the Shea Gilchrist Paul George trade, and to see where it stands a few years later. I think a lot of it depends on how the Clippers play in the playoffs this year, as I think Kawhi and George's window are definitely closing at this point. But hey, man, thanks for you guys to discuss. Have a good one.
Were you in a field? What were you farming wheat? What was going on there? Oh, the wind. Dude, here's the deal on that trade. Clippers have done nothing. Like their whole goal was to win a championship.
Well, they made the Western Conference Finals.
You even made the finals. I saw a stat, at least it was from January. It was an old article. I was just looking at it. So I don't know, add on to some games since January. As of January this year, they've only played 35% of the games together.
Yeah.
Kawhi and Paul George.
The thing that you have to consider with that trade, no doubt about it, the Oklahoma City Thunder win that trade.
Yeah.
But like so much that's going on in sports these days, in these sort of player run leagues, and the smart player that goes, why am I going to go somewhere where I don't have the players to play with? That's why, I said it, and it is sort of shocking to a lot of people, but obviously not shocking to me because I said it. But like the reports are now saying Odell signing with the Ravens has nothing to do with having any sort of belief that Lamar is for sure coming back and going to play, which you had to know based on that situation. But also everything that we've learned about sports in the last 5 to 7 years is, this is some sort of, forming of a team, and that's what you have to consider with the Clippers Thunder deal, which is Kawhi came because Paul George came. We've talked all about all these guys. Oh, LeBron's a bad GM and this guy and the super teams and blah, 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 blah. Listen, if Kawhi Leonard had come to that team and they didn't make the Paul George trade, are they better? Oh, yeah. But you've also got to consider the fact that he wasn't coming without that.
Yeah,
I think if you went back in time, if you had a time machine, they probably do it again. Now, if they had a time machine, maybe Kawhi Leonard would be like, I'd rather play with SGA than Paul George. But if you had a time machine and everything stayed the same, and you said, listen, Clippers, this is how it works out for you guys. But right now, you still only have an opportunity to get Kawhi Leonard if you trade to get Paul George. I think they still do it.
Yeah, no, and they probably would, but again, that was like a championship or bust move. They hadn't even made the finals, man. Like, you just said it. Like, they lost that trade straight up.
But again, that's that trade in a vacuum.
Okay.
That would be my argument, and that would be what I guarantee you. If we call Chris Wilde, that's what he's going to say. He's like, well, we wouldn't have gotten Kawhi.
Well, I'll just ask you right now, Joe. Like, who do you have winning that series? The Clippers or the Suns?
The Suns.
Exactly.
But I think it's a good series.
Sure.
And I think that the Clippers, my NBA zigzag theory says I like the Clippers in game 1 to at least cover.
Who do you like tonight? These last few playing games. Do you like
Which
the Thunder? The Thunder or the Vikings? The Vikings.
The Vikings.
The Thunder. I'm looking at Minnesota. The Thunder.
Yeah, I was going to say which game's up first, but obviously it's the East game, so it's Bulls.
Yeah.
Heat. What time does that game start, by the way? 4:00. I like the Thunder for sure. I said that last episode. I said parlay the Wolves losing twice. And I probably like the Heat. I think the Bulls Heat game's going to be really good, but I probably like the Heat because they're home. I don't like the Timberwolves home court advantage as much as I like the Heat's home court advantage. I'm going Heat Thunder.
Which is that what creates tornadoes? No. That's when the temperature drops, right?
I have no idea. I thought it was homosexuals. Isn't that what they say? It's God punishing the homosexuals.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's when the temperature drops, right?
I don't know. What, tornadoes?
Yeah.
Or hurricanes?
Tornadoes.
I have no idea.
I've been through a awful thunderstorm in Oklahoma City, by the way. I know. Oh, yeah. I know why they're called the Thunder. I was like stuck. I mean, it was like intensely hailing. Like it looked like the end of the world. I'd flown in there to do the old Frat Boys of Comedy show. I must have been so drunk the night before. I forgot to pack underwear and socks. Just like completely forgot. I was gonna be there a couple nights. There was like a giant Walmart by my hotel. Got like literally like everybody was like in it. They're like, it was a thunderstorm. They're like, there might be a tornado.
Yeah, you getting yourself some milk so you can be in the basement? I forgot my underwear because I was hungover.
That was the first time I had water.
I'll tell you something right now. You don't need underwear, fella.
Actually, no, it wasn't the first time. It was definitely a time where I was having a lot of Whataburger that trip. So we talk a lot about social media and sports, especially I think with Major League Baseball and their problem. I got some interesting stats on the NBA. The NBA generated 32 billion views across its NBA and NBA-related social media accounts this season, which is up more than 10% over last year. The NBA Instagram account alone did 13 billion views. It is the first pro sports league to surpass 20 million subscribers on YouTube.
Whoa. On YouTube?
Yeah. Not the NFL, the NBA. Here's an interesting one. Of the 10 most viewed players on NBA social this season, of the 10 most viewed players on NBA social this season were how's he framing this? A lot of international players. I don't know how he's wording this. Anyway, and 5 were under 26.
So five of the 10 are international, and five of the 10 separately, or I'm sure there's crossover.
I'm not sure.
Are under 26.
So for anyone who says that the NBA is dying, that is incorrect. That is false. Stats don't lie. The YouTube one is big, and it also is not surprising though, because I see the kids I coach, they're big on watching NBA YouTube highlights.
Yeah.
They're not watching college basketball highlights. They want to see Steph Curry or, LeBron or whoever. And I've noticed Steph is the big one. All the kids want to watch the Steph highlights.
Yeah.
And they just watch it on YouTube, which obviously we didn't have.
And of course, not to beat a dead bush, as Andy would say, but YouTube is something that the subscribers are international. I know a lot of people love to point to, Nielsen TV ratings or, AM radio tune-ins, but the internet, I mean, we just talked about it the other day. And this is a conversation. Again, I had this with Randy because he asked me, I'm going to repeat the same conversation, but he asked me, who's the most famous person in your phone? And I said, what is the basis for that? What will we judge as I don't even know how to answer that question. There was a couple names that came to my mind right away. And then in the end, I said, I guess to me in 2023, Instagram followers is probably the method I would use. Now, we talked about it. You obviously have Lance Bass in your phone. I would argue he's more famous than Theo Von, but in this day and age, like it is a real thing. Like your social media numbers, at the very least, it's fame in terms of
reach,
and in terms of like maybe the active, like if you're famous,
Well, we just went over it with Wayne Gretzky.
Like Humphrey Bogart is probably more famous to people on planet Earth than Theo Von, but like not really.
Yeah.
He's dead. Like there's not, your actual like the actual number of people that are tuning into something. I think social media is just about as big of a fucking thing as you can use to like measure it. Obviously, if you're a musician, your streams. If you're an actor, your box office, or your streams. But the idea that anybody would be judging the life and death of a sports league, and looking at things like All-Star Game Nielsen ratings as compared to social media subscribers, YouTube subscribers to the league account.
Well, here's what's crazy too. I just looked. It's pretty eye-opening for me. The NBA has over 20 million YouTube subscribers. The NFL, a little over 11 million, almost double the NFL. Major League Baseball, no surprise, 4.75 million YouTube subscribers.
And that number, the NFL versus NBA number just kind of shows you how dominant the NFL is in America.
Yeah.
And how dominant the NBA is in the world. Because the NFL has over half of the followers of the NBA, and it's mostly from one country. Whereas the NBA has twice the reach of the NFL worldwide.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Now, if you're somebody who only cares about what's happening within the borders of the United States of America, if you, I don't know, hate foreigners, then I guess you could argue the NBA was dying.
Well, and also my thing, again, I always say is follow the money, right? Following is equal money. Like you brought up the whole equivalent of like who's more popular on Instagram, or it's like the bigger the following, the more money you're making, whether you are an actor, musician, comedian, whatever. So it's like if a league or a player, whoever has the following, they have, again, that's kind of the problem with Major League Baseball. How many times have we said it?
Yeah.
LeBron has more Instagram followers than all of Major League Baseball players combined. Like therein lies baseball's major issue.
Yeah.
Kids are not getting on YouTube to watch Mike Trout highlights. They're getting on YouTube to watch LeBron highlights.
Let's get strikes out. 70 times yet. What are they going to watch?
Well, Joe, NBA playoffs are here. We got a nice long weekend of NBA playoffs. The perfect time for you to sit in your hotel room and crack open some nice cold Miller Lights as you watch those games.
Well, unfortunately for me, we do have a couple of day and afternoon games, but unfortunately a lot of the primetime games will be happening right when I'm in my shows. But fortunately, and this is probably the best thing about the Comedy Cellar at the Rio in Las Vegas. Green room refrigerator stocked with Miller Lights. It's glorious. Guys behind the bar at the Comedy Cellar, Miller Lite bottles. Green room refrigerator, Miller Lite cans. It's a Miller Lite bonanza down here. When I finally blow up, I'll do one of those things of giving back to the community, and I will personally put a Miller Lite draft in here at the Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas. But until then, I've had the glorious privilege of walking in to the green room every night and grabbing myself a Miller Lite. Every single night here I've been here. There's a Miller Lite on stage with me. If I don't have a Miller Lite on stage with me, something's gone terribly wrong.
Miller Lite, guys, it's a light beer with the flavor you love. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/dirty sports, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Get it delivered right to your house. Don't even got to leave.
The GOAT.
And shout out to Miller Lite, because those cases they sent were flowing on Easter at my house.
Oh, yeah.
Had family over, and I'm not going to name that other brand, but some of my girlfriend's brothers were like, we drink the other brand, and guess what?
Not here, you don't.
And they said, I forgot how good this tastes. And I said, well, take a few. Take some parting gifts.
Yeah.
Take some parting gifts.
You're just out there fixing lives, Andy, and I love that for you.
I'm trying. Okay, let's get to some NFL news and we'll wrap up this show. We've talked a lot of other sports, but we're going to get to the NFL, Joe. I'm going to make it happen one way or another. Lots going on right here. We have the Commanders are in a preliminary deal to be sold. Finally. You probably don't like this because you love the Dan Snyder.
I do, sadly.
Own team in your own division.
But probably good long term. Probably means a new stadium with some new turf. That's been problematic. There's already the conversation that's going on. Will the name be changed again?
For real?
That's the conversation that's going on already. Will the name be changed again?
Here's a fun stat on that. They have had more, under the Dan Snyder regime, they've had more team names than postseason wins.
Wow.
That's your stat right there. They've had 3 team names, the Redskins, the Washington football team, and the Commanders, and they've only had 2 postseason wins.
Wow.
That's how bad of an owner he was. Probably for $6 billion.
The Commanders, Redskins, Washington football team, also more playoff wins combined than Lamar Jackson and Kirk Cousins. Just throwing that out there.
Shots fired.
Some guys who have been in the greater DC area themselves.
So I guess the guy buying it is a group led by a man named Josh Harris, who has ownership in
the Sixers, correct?
The Sixers and the New Jersey Devils. So I want to pose this question, because all these guys do it. I think leagues should not let you own a team if you already own a team.
Wait, what? You shouldn't be able to own a team that if you own a franchise in a different sport?
I don't know. Am I sounding ridiculous?
Kinda. Why is that? Well, first of all, you have certain people like, unfortunately, James Dolan. Like when you own, a lot of times when you own an arena and all the things come with it, you own the 2 teams that are there.
Okay. Maybe this is a really bad take. I don't know.
But if you look at this, what'd you say he owns? The Sixers and the Devils.
Correct. 2
teams that have success of two playoff teams right now. Seems like you can manage. I mean, it's not like he's just the head of a fund of people that are
true
ownership group.
You know who else is in that group on this with the Commanders? Who? Our boy, Magic Johnson. Can't wait for those tweets.
Wow.
Today I bought the Washington Commanders. Did you know they were formerly known as the Redskins and then the Washington football team? I am very excited.
Yeah.
They are a team that plays in the National Football League.
A lot of people think since they changed their name to the Commanders that they are no longer the Washington football team, but they are the Washington football team. They are merely now known as the Commanders, but they will forever be the football team in Washington. Yeah, a lot of
I'm looking at his tweets, by the way.
a lot of people calling for another name change. Here's an interesting thing. I saw this. I know social media can be, different than what's going on in real life, but I saw this on social media, and then I got a text message from a friend. I won't name names because I wrote him back, but I don't know if it was sarcastic or not. But he is a fan of the Washington football franchise. He said the first move should be changing the name back to Redskins.
That's hilarious.
And I said, hard to know. And I don't know if he was being sarcastic or not, but that is a conversation that's also online right now.
Well, let's see if Magic has anything to say about it. Pulled up Magic Johnson's Twitter feed. No, but he has a great take on the Lakers versus Grizz. I'm going to read that. If the Lakers are going to beat the Memphis, and he misspelled it, but we're going to call it out, the Grizzler, not Grizzlies. If the Lakers are going to beat the Memphis Grizzlies,
I feel like if you put Memphis Grizzler into Urban Dictionary, that it's definitely a sex move. Memphis Grizzler.
Definitely sounds like
that's so Cleveland Steamer of a.
It really is. What's the Memphis Grizzler? Well, you take her out to the woods, you take a dump over a fire, and then you throw it on her. What?
Yeah.
It's the Memphis Grizzler.
Memphis Grizzler is when you're showering with a girl and you hold her in a bear hug and you start shitting on her. And when she realizes that you're shitting on her, she tries to escape your bear hug and claws your back with her nails like a grizzly trying to attack Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant. The Memphis Grizzler.
So Magic tweeted, if the Lakers are going to beat the Memphis Grizzler, they have to control the pace, and the role player.
It also Magic's tweet is also the IMDb review of a horror movie. If the kids at the lake are gonna defeat the Memphis Grizzler, they must make sure to get his axe away from him.
They have to control the pace, and the role players like Reeves, Schroeder, D'Lo, Beasley, Hachimura, and Troy Brown Jr. have to play great to help AD and LeBron. I'd also like to see Lonnie Walker play in the Memphis series. It's unbelievable that he tweets this.
Is that all one tweet?
It's all one tweet.
Jesus.
He is
also Twitter Blue.
What's up?
Does he have Twitter Blue? That seems like it's over 240 characters.
He does. I think it says, new fact. I didn't know this. In his bio, he's also now a writer for Black Sports Online. Makes sense.
That wasn't even his take. That was just his headline. Pics and vids.
Unbelievable. Yeah, man. So the Commanders are going to be sold. Nice little ROI for Mr. Dan Schneider.
I'll never not love you calling him Dan Schneider.
Yeah, I don't know why I do it. He bought the team for $805 million.
And now he's going to sell them for $6 billion?
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Or here's what I think. I think the NFL was like, they were trying to do this, go back and forth with each other. I think they're like, we're gonna have you sell it. You're gonna make billions of dollars, and we're not gonna release all the insane shit you guys did.
Because if we did release it, your value would go down, but so would ours. And
yeah,
basically, there's a situation here where everybody stands to make more money if you just sell it right now.
Basically, that's what I think happened. Now, in other NFL money news, they did announce the Sunday ticket prices.
I know. This is now. It's all streaming essentially, right? Like, is there a version of this that isn't streaming?
No, I don't think so. So YouTube TV has it as a reminder. They're paying $2 billion a year for the rights. It's for YouTube TV subscribers. So people like me who have YouTube TV, it's $349 for the season.
And people like me who you're going to give your password to.
Not going to work here anymore. So it's $349 for the season, but $249 if you purchase before June 6th, which I would be doing. $100 off before June 6th.
Yeah.
Now, non-YouTube TV subscribers, $449 for the season, $349 early. A lot of people were pissed about this.
Now, what do you pay for YouTube TV a month? $60?
It just went up. It went up for the first time in 3 years. It's like 72 or 73 now.
So $72 a month, and then you'll have what was it? $249?
Yeah, if I get it before June 6th.
So that's another $20 a month. You got cable, bro.
No, it's been cable for a while.
Yeah, yeah. But remember, this was like the thing. It's like you have a la carte TV. And now you have a $90 YouTube TV bill a month. $95.
Well, it's also, 85, 90 channel. I mean, it's
right.
It's been 85 channels for a while. It's like, the one advantage of YouTube TV is that unlimited DVR. Like it's in the cloud.
Yeah, that is nice.
I mean, when YouTube TV came out, I want to say it was $50 a month. It's already just like, I know people are mad and it's so funny. Like, I don't know. It's like, you're going to pay for it though.
Well, I think stupid people are mad because I think like so many things, people are just gripped by what they're used to. Like I feel like people who are pissed off about the prospect of having to get YouTube TV and the NFL package are like, I gotta have that on top of my DirecTV. It's like, no, you don't. Cancel your DirecTV, bro.
Well, you
don't need fucking satellite anymore.
If you didn't do it early and you paid the $349, you had YouTube TV. It's $20 a week for 17 weeks. So ask yourself that. Is it worth $20 a week during the NFL season to watch every single game? I'd argue it is. The NFL is arguing it is. YouTube TV is arguing it is.
So what's that price? That price is?
It would be $20 a week for 17 weeks.
If you're just getting the football package. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you're a YouTube TV subscriber already.
Right.
They're smart. They're doing this to get YouTube TV subscribers.
Sure,
that's why they make it $100 more.
Right.
But I mean, how long have they've sponsored the NBA finals for how many years in a row? Like it went from like a thing like, oh, it's kind of novel to like, I don't know. I prefer it. I mean, boxes and all this stuff, like, I don't know. That's a thing of the past. That's antiquated. But yeah, I mean, look, you have to say, is it worth it? And then obviously there's illegal streaming sites, which I'm just like, I don't got time for. I'm a grown ass man. Like,
right.
Like you guys can do all that, but like fourth quarter, final drive, I'm not like dealing with that shit.
Now tell me, because I had YouTube TV for a minute, and again, I didn't have it, but I was with somebody who subscribed to it, and so I could watch the local NFL game.
Correct.
And then Mikey had DirecTV, so then I would stream Sunday Ticket. Will you be able to, like, does YouTube TV work where, like, could you get your 3-screen situation going?
It's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, they allow 3 screens at once. And I don't know if they're going to allow, like YouTube TV was doing something during the NCAA tournament where they'd have split screens. That was an option. They'd never done that before.
Right.
You could be watching.
I would imagine YouTube TV will figure out how to do.
Yeah, we can. Because DirecTV was doing that.
Yeah.
I could put 4 games up on one TV. I'd assume they do that.
Well, I'm going to have a talk with Mikey and see how he's going to handle this situation.
Hey, it's the least he could do after kicking your dad in the head.
What's that?
least he could do it after kicking your dad in the head.
Yeah, repeatedly.
So,
but I mean, that's the thing is like right now, it's like I'm signed into so many things. That is the beauty. That's like, in the end, I hated DirecTV forever, but now I essentially use Mikey's DirecTV login to get into all these premium streaming channels. And then now there's a DirecTV stream app. So like on my TV at home, I have the DirecTV streaming app, which is not only has all the things, but it's all Mikey's local channels. So I can just watch MSG, Sportsnet New York. Like I don't even have to sign up for an extra package. It's just like his local channels are my local channels, which as a New York sports fan is perfect. I don't know. What's
your kickback to him? Like
No.
what are you giving him in return?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But when I come visit, I use my Miller Lite fuel, and me and those kids, we hang,
That's what it is.
Good uncle.
Because like my family, we've all kind of done stuff like that, but like there's always been a give and take. Hey, you got my HBO, you get my YouTube TV, I get your Disney Plus. You're just like, fuck you.
Well, I mean, it's not like it costs them anything, right? I think I have I think he signed into something that I'm maybe Apple TV. He might have my Apple TV login.
Mikey, I'm just saying, if I was your agent, this is not a good deal for you.
It's a great deal for him. It's what brothers do.
Okay.
It's like Fast and the Furious. It's like family. It's all about family.
I've never watched a single one.
I watched the first one. I actually went to the first one ever with Mikey in theaters. He was like, "We got to go see this movie." Mikey for sure has seen every single one. Guarantee it.
That's hilarious.
We may have to have Mikey zoom in on the show. Fast and Furious movie reviews. Talk to him about this cable situation.
Yeah. Well,
how are we handling this cable situation, Mikey? We need to talk about this.
I wonder how's Mikey going to handle this Saquon Barkley situation as well.
It's devastating. Not only Saquon Barkley and Dexter Lawrence right now, both refusing to show up to off-season workouts.
I hate to say it, Saquon, but like Todd Gurley ruined it for everybody. Like Todd Gurley is the poster child of not giving long-term guaranteed deals.
It's weird. Now, Andy, I hesitate to do this, given our thing on the show. But why? Given our pre-show conversation, but why is the conversation about why are we creating a fictitious conversation around Lamar Jackson and why or why not he is getting signed, but we're not doing that? We don't do that for like running backs. Why is no one doing that?
Because they're not as important.
But like, yeah, I understand that. But like, it to me, isn't that weird? Like, no one's being like, they paid Christian McCaffrey, but they won't pay Saquon Barkley. No one's doing a comparison of their numbers. No one's doing everything. Isn't it almost like those deals, the Zeke deal, the Gurley deal, the McCaffrey deal, proved why not to do it?
Yeah.
And didn't the Deshaun Watson deal, the Russell Wilson deal, the whatever, didn't they prove why not to do it?
Yeah.
To me, it's weird that that's something that isn't being brought up. That RG3 is not like.
I think more people are now seeing the Lamar thing. It just took a while. I think more people are like, yeah, this is why. But yeah, those guys, everybody's, you know what it is? Everybody, in my opinion, is just hung up on the MVP thing. 4 years ago. I mean, not to get dark, but I thought of something. I'll get a little dark. But it's also like it's real and it's comedic or whatever. Take it as you want. They're all like, oh, he won the MVP. I'm like, dude, that was 2019. Guess what? In 2019, I lived in Venice Beach. Both my parents were still alive, and I'm saying like a lot can happen since 2019. Like I was thinking about myself, like, dude, that's what's happened in my life since Lamar won the MVP.
Yeah.
Now I have a kid and I live in Cincinnati.
I had no knee pain whatsoever in 2019.
Like a lot can happen.
Yeah.
In 3.5 years.
And like Lamar, since then I've missed lots of action due to injury.
So like, what's the move here though for Saquon? Like,
well, I think that's part of the conversation is like, you have to come to the table wanting your long-term. Listen, I do not fault any NBA and any NFL player at any position for not wanting to play on the franchise tag.
Agree. Get paid. But
you have to come with you've got to come to the table. I think the number that I heard he turned down a $12 million a year deal. I don't know if that was for 4 years or something like that, or 5 years, but you're not getting 20 million. Dude, Zeke just got cut. McCaffrey's been traded. Todd Gurley works at IHOP. Like, you have to come with like a realistic number, because these guys have proven that the numbers that they signed for not only are not realistic, but then they've got to find somewhere for you to go in 2 years.
Yeah.
So I am so in favor of Dexter Lawrence not showing up. I'm in favor of Saquon Barkley not showing up, but you have to
what the market needs to reset it like a 2 or 3 year deal, like a guaranteed 2 or 3. But to be honest, it's probably 2.
Listen, like
2 years, $25 million guaranteed.
Well, he's not going to do that, because right now he's on the franchise tag for 1 year. What guaranteed? 20?
No, 1 year, 10.
That's his franchise deal?
Yeah.
How is that top 5 money in the league? The top 5 running backs in football average $10 million a year?
Yeah.
Wow. Because Zeke got cut.
But again, people forget Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley's like 28, man. He didn't play in the NFL in 2 years. It's like 28, 29. Like, that deal is the poster child after he had just 2 monster seasons. And also Saquon was great last year.
Yeah.
Also was hurt the 2 years. It's like, I think that's where these guys have to say, okay, I'll do 2 years, $25 million guaranteed.
Yeah. Or listen, if you're talking about, if they offered him a 4-year deal, if they offered him $12 million, I'm assuming it was for 4. Like, if you do a 4-year, 48, 24 guaranteed, like, yeah, it seems like you got to just sign, like, because you're in this situation now where it's like, again, you don't want to put yourself in a Lamar Jackson situation where you don't show up, but they don't really want to budge, but then no one else wants you. And then you're just sitting there with, if you ever come back to camp, there's going to be bad blood. The Giants love Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley loves the Giants. You got to play hardball. Get your money, dude. But you have to get your money within reason. And I'm just absolutely sick and tired. I think it is the most, I don't want to say the most, because there's so many bad takes out there. But I think one of the worst takes that we see in sports today is people talking about terrible deals as justification for why guys should get terrible deals.
Yeah.
If you don't want to pay Lamar Jackson, but you paid Deshaun Watson this, then some terrible, reckless claim. It's like, dude, the Browns don't want to be paying Deshaun Watson. It's been 1 year. They couldn't be more filled with regret that they did that deal.
Yeah.
If you paid Russell Wilson, the Broncos Wish Russell Wilson would die in a plane crash. The Broncos wish John Elway would push Russell Wilson down the stairs in a drunken domestic. In a coke-fueled domestic. They're begging for it.
Yeah,
the Broncos wish OJ would run over Russell Wilson in a Bronco.
He allegedly turned down about $13 million per year after the season.
Saquon.
Yeah. But here's what's interesting. The NFL's top free agent running backs have all been tagged, basically. Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard. It's like teams are just not paying the running backs now.
I would love Saquon Barkley back, man.
He'll be back.
But
he'll be back.
The Giants are in a situation now. They paid Daniel Jones. And now as far as key members of the Giants go, I would say Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Dexter Lawrence, Andrew Thomas are about the biggest four that you could. Like, if you were talking about the most important Giants right now, those are probably them. I guess a year in, Kayvon Thibodeau is probably the next one on the list in terms of the future of the franchise. It's hard to pay everybody. And now you're in a situation where three of those four are demanding to get paid this offseason, and two of those four aren't going to show up to OTAs or whatever. It'd be a terrible situation to come to some sort of agreement with Dexter Lawrence that makes you not be able to sign Saquon Barkley or vice versa.
Yeah.
And that is what being an NFL GM is. And that's what Saquon Barkley, of all the people, probably more so than Dexter Lawrence and definitely more so than Daniel Jones, has to realize, because as great as you are and as much as you might make this team go offensively, your running back's just not that valuable.
Yeah, 100%. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. I made it through. Didn't diarrhea. That's a W for me. Follow us on social at The Dirty Sports. All things Dirty Sports.
JoePrano.com/shows. Rest of the weekend. Comedy Cellar, Las Vegas, Nevada. Tonight. Tomorrow. Sunday. Monday, I'll be at Dodgers Mets in Chavez Ravine. Maybe dipping a Dodger dog in some cheese. Who knows?
Try it.
Definitely not eating In-N-Out Burger. We know that. Definitely not eating King Taco for the first time. We know that. Throckmorton Theater in San Rafael in Marin County on Tuesday. Great show at a really cool little old theater. Wednesday, Killdozer in San Francisco. You can see that in the shows. You can see all these things promoted in the show's highlight on my Instagram. All my social medias at Joe Prano, except for Twitter, where I'm at Fix Your Life. Stamford, Connecticut, June 6th, headlining the new New York Comedy Club in Stamford, Connecticut. So that ticket link should be up soon. Keep your eyes out for that if you guys can do it. Shows coming up in the East Coast, Los Angeles, lots of places. JoePrano.com/shows.
He's going to be, that was an accident.
The heating and air conditioning are chiming in.
That's our boy, Jay Sizzle.
What's up, Jay Sizz?
You're going to be at the
DJ Sizzle.
You got a headline at King Taco, man.
Dude, my girlfriend and I went to see DJ Sizzle. We talked about this last episode. And ever since we went, she'll just randomly be sitting around and go, DJ Sizzle.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Get a gig at King Taco.
Yeah.
Tell jokes outside the taco stand. All right, guys, that's our show. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll be back on Monday. And as always, stay dirty.